Hey everybody, Shay here. Welcome back to another blind let's play of GreedFall. We are in the Redwoods, and I am basically, this is a continuation of the last episode. There was no real break because I got super addicted to these particular quests that are about to come up, and I was getting so close to feeling like I was hitting in Act 3 that I really wanted to get the session closed off at a very kind of clean spot, just in case I had to take a break. I felt like I was going to enter endgame and I could just then concentrate on endgame in one sweep, which I'm crossing fingers is still going to be the case. This is the final of the 5 episodes that I've had to do as commentary on top of the run because my mic was turned off, which I just checked now. I'm checking all the settings nice and early, and so yeah, it's at this point we're going to be doing the quest, I believe, and this is a fun quest to do. There was a couple hints that were given along the way about what could be done. Basically, you could fight your way through it, or you could use your heart and your something else rather. But basically, there are going to be monsters in here, animals. She repeats it here, which I thought was weird.
That awaits us inside? My mother passed it
because she gave us this information when we asked her straight up. That would have been in the last episode.
In the end. Did she tell you about
exact same words.
A little, but it is a secret trial. It is important that you give your whole heart to it. I know that you must choose your path in your way. Combat is not necessarily the best to
I don't know if it'll matter,
are ways
you know?
of altering food
But
to Is that an idea that your mother used? It's clever. Thank you.
So it's a cool scene. I wonder if it was more, if you hadn't talked to her, then you would have gotten that hint if you brought her along. So you have 2 different opportunities to get that hint before you come into this quest. But that said, I don't know. They're not saying you shouldn't kill things. Like, I think part of it sounded like if you kill them, then you've just chosen, that's just who you are. So it speaks to your soul, you know, and maybe that matters. Like, maybe how you approach this, there is something happening behind the scenes that impacts something after this that I don't know, because this is the last episode now that I have played. This is, by the time this episode ends, you'll have a...
These beasts are feeding on that carcass. If only we could pour some sleep.
I mean, that was just like explicit. It's like, oh, I carry everything around with me. That's Alec. I always prepared. So now I did think that I wasted them all and whatever with the guards that we did recently. But now I did see this, and you see how that big bear wolf thing. Damn it. It's like it's right on top of that thing. I'm like, how am I supposed to get there though? Like, it's literally in the same vicinity. But I figured the quest has given us more than ample hints to get around this in this way, and so I was pretty determined to see if there was some sort of pattern here where this mean wolf would just move on over to the other side. But no, I have upgraded all of the potions to their greater variants. The idea being I could just get rid of the other potions. They don't really matter. My fear there being that when something like this happens, like, oh, if only you had a healing potion, if only you had an antidote, and they don't take greater antidote into consideration, then I could compromise myself by not having at least 1 to 3 maybe of the small ones. It doesn't really matter. Just, you know, just figured it's like, no, even like as I'm speaking, I'm like, I figured I could make some coin. I don't even need the coin. This is one game where there's literally, I feel like it's the most balanced to some degree. It's not balanced with the leveling, that's for sure. But when it comes to the equipment and how much time spent in inventory, now granted, some people probably love doing massive equipment management and backpack management and love going back to towns and disrupting their entire experience.
We should be able to pass without a fight.
Some people must love that because games keep doing it. But no, I get it's part of the experience, and I'm being a bit facetious there because, yeah, no, it's fun. It's like, it's tedious when it feels tedious, but then I've even been super invested into crafting, equipment management, finding like sets of things. Like, I get super invested in that part of an RPG. But when it's a story heavy RPG, I think it starts frustrating me more is when I feel like there's story somewhere, but I can't get to the story because I'm constantly disrupting myself to manage meta. That's when it bothers me. Sometimes there's a good balance. I would say this game is very, very good balance when it comes to inventory management and story. Now, you notice they were those vampire bat things. Of course, they have a different name. But now I got the vigor up. Sior's our friend. Looks like that was a 2 jump. I don't have the clothing on, but it was enough to jump over that, and we evaded another set of animals. Now with all kind of, not all, but the fantasy kind of pattern that exists is something I call it's the rule of threes. And so, and this goes back to oral tradition. There's a reason why 3 has become like so embedded inside storytelling.
Watch out, Anadai.
Look at the basin.
I mean, that was a little early, that warning.
Given the
because I'm like, where's the night
rituals and enigmas, I think you should touch the water.
But yeah, it's down below. But yeah, so the oral tradition is like it became easy to remember things in 3 because then you could then modularize your storytelling to know which parts of the story you had to tell in order to get the folklore
You were freezing and you
across
had
to
this
your
empty
listeners.
stare. The water in the basin spoke to you. No.
Now, I wish they showed a scene here.
Exactly
like we did when we got the fire.
Struck tree. I was something else for a brief moment. Tell us. Visions like
Ooh, I
this
just
are
realized
guides,
there's an elemental theme going on
for
here.
the
So we got
sacred
fire, this is
rituals.
water.
I was in the sky. I was
We talk
floating,
about wind a
carried
lot.
by
There's a
the
lot of
wind.
elemental in the story
And it
here,
was a
but
cold
these
feeling.
trials
I was high up
throughout
and
the
it was
journey
getting colder and colder. I felt my blood freezing
have
in my
been
veins.
also tied
I
to
fell to the
elements.
ground and spun
So we're missing
slowly.
earth and
then
air.
the sun warmed me, and suddenly I bounced on the ground, and I was taken by the bubbling current of this creek. Then,
I think we're getting
just
too
like
late to get all
before,
4.
the vision dissipated, and I was suddenly with you again.
So that's going to repeat a couple times so that I can remember what was said, so I can then trigger these stones accordingly.
This stone is blackened, eaten away. I think it is supposed
That's a creepy
to
one. The
evoke
tentacle
death.
one of this Nighthawk that's a great model.
Which
I
is
love
a
the
part
shadow
of the
right there on the
ritual,
wall too that happens.
Like they were when you touched the
It's
tree.
creepy. It's
I
great.
was in the sky. I was floating, carried by the wind, and it was a cold feeling. I was high up and it was getting colder.
It's because it was a cold feeling, and then
I
they
felt
talked
my
about
blood
colder
freezing
and
in my
colder and
veins.
veins. And I was like,
I
is
fell
that
to
life?
the ground and spun slowly.
But yeah. Okay, and then I was like, there's still some left, and in my head for some reason I was thinking, well, we hit the blackstone last on the last one, and I was thinking that's what activated it. No, that was part of the story of the last one. But I'm still like, well, what do I do? That the Nighthawk is still over there. What I didn't notice that the tentacles aren't flailing anymore. So I did get stuck here because I might have screwed it up too, because I don't know what to do. I don't have anything to click to activate to like complete the story sort of thing, right? I'm like, dummy, you've already completed it. Just walk down the cliff. Oh, embarrassing. And then, oh, the tentacles, I think. I don't know. I noticed it at some point out here. So it's back to the 3. So in fantasy, that's why it sort of carried over into fantasy as something that just happens as a pattern. I think most writers that are big, fans of fantasy or have studied it, they will have learned that this is sort of a thing that happens. So this trial of water had 3 monster encounters. So it was the bear things, it was the bat things, and then there's the Nighthawk. So it's the rule of 3s. There's even if I were to think about how many tests it would go on, well, we had the one with the fire, we have this one with the water. I'm wondering if a third will drop because of the rule of 3. So even though it might not happen, I like to ponder it to see if it will happen. And again, then I'm like, okay, well, what do I do now? It's not attacking me. What do I do? I missed the fact that I could interact with him. Look at those tentacles in the mouth, like the way they wiggle around. That's just crazy. Dude, just walk up to it. Just walk up to it. Just walk up to it again. See that you can interact with it. Dude, there you go. You see what happened, though, is that it was like the words were too high. It kind of left the screen real fast. That's likely what happened. Because they appear when you're close to it, but they escape the top of your screen. Not that that's really an excuse, but it is. That's a valid excuse. Okay, and then that could have just taken us back. But there was no reason to go back there at all, so we got ourselves another wall painting.
This must be the seal that Glendan spoke about. It looks like the silhouette of the mountain of Tir Fredi, and a face is drawn within it. The spirit of the volcano. One of the faces of Einonir Frichterman.
There it is. So talk to Glendan about the trial. Back to the rule of threes. So that's why it's three. It's because it's the most simplest of story architectures. It's not really story frameworks. It's the beginning, the middle, and the end. That's it. That's the story. The story is the beginning and middle and an end. If you have a beginning, middle, and end, you're telling a story.
And so you have returned. Can you tell me what the seal deep within the cavern brings into your mind?
A face in the mountain of Tir Fridi.
Then you have seen the true face of the island when looking into her waters. And the island has seen inside you.
Interesting.
You sent
Look
the
upon the
beasts
abyss,
into
the
a
abyss
deep
looks back.
sleep.
Variant.
That was very clever. Another before you did the same. In choosing the path of silence, you avoided confronting the Dosantats. Finally, you have completed the ritual. And in so doing, the Guardian recognized you as a wise man. You choose to trust the way of rose
A lot of
and
those errors in this
wisdom.
game.
It
That's
is
probably
a difficult
the fifth
path,
one I've encountered. Fourth or fifth.
but it carries generous fruits. The island has seen your intelligence and also your compassion. The friendship of Katasach towards you no longer surprises me.
Am I authorized to encounter Enon Maelfrictiman now? To present him with my request?
If the High King agrees, yes. We shall not oppose that decision. Only a High King or High Queen is allowed to open the sanctuary. I warned you. Your voyage is far from over.
I suppose that I'm going to need to convince him as well. Where can I find him?
I do not know. And I believe that it may be another trial on your
Third trial.
path to find the one you seek.
Is he hiding? Has he been captured?
He disappeared several months ago. Since then, we have not heard from him. He was worried about the Renaigse. The last people to have seen him, I'm told, were the most important chiefs of the clans here at the council. There was Deirdre, Blatnid, Ulan, and Dunkas.
My mother, alas, can tell us nothing more.
Yes, I heard about your loss, Yora. And divorced Tirce. Mourning is a difficult time to pass.
And divorced Tirce. Thank you, Glendan.
Deirdre is the Mal of the clan of the Storm Warriors. You will find her in the village of Vedlug.
I have already met her. She sent me to confront a guardian.
That sounds like her. Ulan is the Mal of the village of Vignamri, near the coast. It is said that he welcomes the Renaigse. As for Dunkas, he leads the Vigigidor. He
See, I wonder
is
if you
the
could have
chief
gotten
of the
this
Earth
before you
Healers.
did the side quest to meet all of
His village is not
quest
very
for all
far
of them.
from the Didekid and Nadages.
them.
Very well. I will go and see them. Try to find this High King. Thank you, Glendan.
See them again.
While I'm sick,
I will go visit them.
I hope that you will find him.
They're all my pals. Alright, so from here, where are we off to? Hengen do okay, I can't do it. I can't do it. Alright, so we're gonna speak to Constantine. Right. Go on, click the button. The hell am I doing? Hey, so let's look at the quest, and that's it. It's a clean log. Boom. That's all we have left. Now, again, could have had a bunch of side quests in there ready to go. This threw me off. I was not prepared for a scene.
Lieutenant, I demand an explanation. Tell us what is going on. We haven't heard anything about Lord Dorsey's condition in spite of our inquiries. We are extremely worried. And then, all of a sudden, one of his guards appears, shaken and on his own, though he is part of his retinue.
And this is why I couldn't shut the game down.
Please,
For
allow me
another-
the chance to shed some light, my lady.
Your soldier is nothing more than a
Within an hour at
coward
this
for
point.
abandoning his highness.
Beyond this point.
Tell me, what is going on?
This soldier has just reported in. He is asking for reinforcements. He believes that Lord Dorsey has been attacked.
He believes. He ran here without full knowledge of what happened firsthand.
I was sent on patrol far from the camp, but I heard screams, from men and from beasts. I wanted to return to camp, but then I heard a deafening sound, grinding, like a landslide. I thought then it would be best just to go and get help.
But that could have been.
Thank you, Lieutenant. You are dismissed. I would like to have a discussion with this man alone.
Yes.
My lady, could you lead these fine people into the hallway if you would be so kind?
Certainly. I deplore this embarrassing turn of events. But know that you have my full support in all circumstances.
In the interest of avoiding a general panic, tell me precisely what happened back there.
Your cousin ordered us to escort him beyond the town limits. The Islander convinced him to go on some journey.
By Islander, do you mean the Donegad that came to treat his affliction?
Yes, a strange bird. Missing more than one feather, you ask me, milady. I was ordered to set up patrol along a small path, rather far from the rest of the company. I was told to protect our perimeter from anyone wandering along. According to the Islander, it was the only access to their planned destination.
My cape is freaking the fuck out.
I did my rounds for quite some time. Not a soul came along. But then I heard cries a ways off, and I went running to help. I heard an enormous crashing sound like an avalanche of rocks. So then I turned right back around.
Hearing this for the second time, I'm trying to pick up on some ideas. Because boy was I confused for the next hour.
Do you know precisely where the company was when you heard these sounds?
No, not precisely. I hadn't gone there. But I could show you where I was posted. The Islander said they were following the path, but he was quite a ways ahead when I lost sight of them.
Why didn't you go and look for yourself? To see if they had been buried by a rock slide?
What? Alone? What could I have done? It seemed of greater urgency to go and get help.
I'm still having trouble deciding if cowardice or intelligence got the best of you. But that's a question for your superiors. My cousin was quite weak. Do you know why he decided to follow the Donegad?
His Highness was feeling much better. The potions that he was drinking must have been potent. I mean to show no disrespect to His Highness, but that Islander had the high ground in the War of Wits. I wasn't privy to their counsel. I haven't the beginning of an explanation for the expedition, but your cousin was all full of enthusiasm and ordered that we set out as quick as we could make ready.
That sounds like him. What sort of mess has he gotten himself into again?
I am sorry, milady.
Very impulsive, I guess.
But I don't know anything else I could tell you.
Dismissed, soldier.
Maybe a bit
Looks like
eager.
I'm going on an expedition.
Thank you, milady.
And so we are on the High King's Trail. I like that they have Kurt and Petrus up front like that. They're the most official of the ranks, you know. That's neat. Oh, and we have the search for Constantine. I do have debate here because part of me is like, well, I'm gonna search for my cousin. Like, if I had to make an RP like driven decision of like what am I most urgently gonna be moved to do, like this could be out of pace again, like, but my gut was telling me just find the cousin first and then we'll deal with the Malachor, like see if he's okay, you know. So for good or for bad, this was the direction I took. You really do? You take... Yeah. Take some... I think I have to go in this one. No, I don't. Do I? Maybe I was still testing XP. They really don't give that much XP, so it is one of those things where, like, you can keep fighting. You get supplies, you can harvest things, but again, you're loaded with supplies by this point, so you don't really need to. Here's the point, you don't need to fight anymore. You can get around it.
This is the camp that Constantine's escort must have established.
It looks more like a battlefield. I hope the Donegad and your cousin survived the fight.
Search the area. Let's see if we can find any clues as to what happened here. The tents are lacerated by what looks like claws. And there are traces of blood everywhere. Some of these men must have been attacked in their sleep. By beasts?
Sword carries.
Most of the weapons are missing. Our soldiers wouldn't have taken a rest without defenses. Our soldiers were attacked by surprise, and animals were amongst the assailants. However, our men reacted properly. They were armed and they fled as best they could. There are no bodies.
That's so
and no
strange
sign
because
of
we're
the presence
literally
of Constantine or
standing
Catisac.
over a body.
Perhaps they were in another
And we
place,
found a bunch of
and the
tents.
soldiers wanted to join them. We need to follow the
So-
tracks.
Strange line right there. I don't know if the reference there was of Constantine and the right, but it didn't come across that way. It came out very strange there. So down the path we go, following the blood trails, the footprints.
This area has been trampled. An entire stampede passed by here. Our soldiers must have fled the area and taken this path followed by their assailants.
Yeah, strange combination of things again that's making me super worried about how this will pan out.
This is a sacred place of a native cult. No doubt this is where Catisac and
Did you know that
Constantine
was a
were
native
going.
cult? Oh, wow, yeah.
It isn't really a place
Oh,
of
thanks.
a cult,
Sorry, I forgot that.
but rather a place of
I don't know what that means, Siora.
anchoring. A place where Donegada perform a ritual to become Sinol Menawi. These places are charged with great energy. Perhaps Catisac wanted to use it to bring relief to your cousin.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Perhaps. But there are bodies. And without a doubt, there was fighting here. Search the place. Let's see what we are able to find. The corpses of both men and beasts. These soldiers fought dearly to the end. Neither Constantine nor Catisac are amongst them. A crater, without a doubt caused by an explosive potion. The soldiers might have been carrying them. They must have been desperate to have taken such drastic measures.
Yeah, at that point I was like, or the Bridge Alliance is involved.
This blade is a native ritual knife. And this bowl contained a
Siora has a
potion.
blade like that. For sure. Hers is on
Someone
fire.
wanted to perform a ritual here. Could Catisac have found a better means to alleviate Constantine's symptoms?
Strange.
Constantine and Catisac must have been visiting this place. Perhaps performing some sort of healing
Passed
ritual
by this
when
place,
the
I
attack
didn't-
took place. The soldiers intervened and many
Noticed it was
fell
the same
during the
place until
fight.
now.
But a group escaped down this path. We need to continue
shell,
following their
and shell.
tracks.
Yeah, because the Bridge Alliance, I attribute them to the alchemy and potions and bombs and stuff. So, but then it brings up the monster stuff, and then I was like, but what is that? And then we have the other quest where that one lizard thing was enraged, like it was an entire different variant, and we know that is Sealy. Oh my god! Come on, it just happened last time. The
More
scientist. We know that he was
The ones who got
mutating
away
things,
fled this
or
way.
at least testing things, right? And we know that that was some ordeal,
Strange.
and that Thelem
These trees look half calcinated,
ended up being
as if they were
involved
exposed
in
to immense
that
heat.
story. Now they have the fire thing here. Now the fire part is what I can't wrap my head around.
These weapons
The
are in
only thing I
terrible
can think
condition.
about with the
Whatever did these men come up against?
fire is that it was like bombs. Element fire? I don't know, but like we don't have fire bombs. They're elemental bombs. But and then I was like, dragon? Are there
Another
dragons in
tree.
this game? Because I don't
This path seems to have been scorched
Recall.
in flames.
Not to say they couldn't have one, I guess. But I don't. Yeah. We haven't encountered anything like that. It could have been a Nadite with fire powers. Can't remember if one of them had fire powers. It's possible. And then magic, I was like, I don't know how the magic works in this
No
game.
signs
I'm
of an
not playing one,
explosion.
so.
I can't believe that our soldiers could be carrying so many
Yeah.
explosive
And then there's some
potions.
doubt thrown right here where I'm already on the path of like, I don't think it was the soldiers. I think
These
it might
poor
be a
soldiers were torn to
combination of
pieces.
bullshit going on right now.
Animals again? Or something else?
Animals that have been tainted somehow, some way, modified, controlled. Maybe they have a a native,
New
a converted
footprints.
native that's being
It
forced to
looks
do
as if a
something,
group met up with them and took this path.
or like,
There was more fighting over here.
I mean, Asili made the comment of the power flowing between, like, within Siora, right? And then I was like, okay, well, did you, in your experiments, did you get at something that maybe they used to modify the animals to make them something else?
There are not only corpses of our own men. Where could these other
And then
soldiers
who are
have
the
come
other
from?
soldiers? I don't know. I don't know.
More signs of explosions.
But she is using the word
But what are
explosions
they
here.
doing with all these explosives on them?
It's just so strange, right? Like, again, the trees could be the explosions, I guess. Unless I'm missing some details, but I think it's intentionally ambiguous right now. And it's mixing up everything. This feels like something that would have come after all of the side quests. Like, if you can trigger this before finishing the side quest, which I think you can. I think you can clear this game without finishing the side quests. But you would have even less context of some of the subtle things behind the side quest storylines that sort of impact how all of this stuff could be coming together. It's just how it comes together is absolutely murky right now. And I did accidentally turn myself around there. Go towards the light. Oh, okay, keep going. What was that?
There are
that tunnel
footprints.
path on the other side, to the
Only a
right
handful
there.
made it up here.
Oh, and then this. We found this like really early in this Let's Play. And there was something that popped up there when we first encountered this saying that this is kind of like a bird thing, but not, but the real thing is not quite what this, something like that. It was something like that. This is a sculpture of something that's people have seen or
The
talked
path
about, but
stops on this
they're not aware of.
overhang. And despite
what?
signs of a skirmish, I can't see any sign of Constantine or Katazak.
Did that sculpture not look like that pheasant mutant we just saw in the Seeley's place? Closer to it? Like, I don't know. It's the first time I actually saw that the wings, because I thought it was a broken sculpture, and the wing shape that's coming out, I thought that it was a broken sculpture at the torso area that was kind of buried in the ground, or half buried in the ground. No, I think that actually showed the head of the bird thing, and that's why I was like, oh wait, I think that was the model of that other mutant pheasant thing. And then there's a comment about the bird thing in the codex, something about, because of the quest we were, what was it? It was something that the natives won't eat them, or something like that. But that the people who were with Siora, they enjoyed the taste of them, but that the natives wouldn't eat them because
These rocks were broken.
this was weird.
As if they had taken
What
candle
breaks
fire.
rocks like that?
But what could have happened
You know?
here?
I don't know. The lightning smashed down on them. You don't think like that wouldn't have been noticed
These
by them?
vials look familiar.
These vials are familiar.
Katazak used the very same to stock his potions. He came all the way here. I'm going to pick them up.
Well, that's... Maybe I missed that it was Katazak's potion vials. I don't know.
I don't recognize these men.
Weird,
Still
right?
more unknown soldiers.
Like, who the hell do they
Could
belong
they
to
have been
then?
responsible for the attack? This one is carrying a letter.
Are they like...
Let's see.
Something just hit me now. And I go,
According to this note, this troop came from an outpost of the
Okay.
Bridge Alliance close by. A patrol, no doubt. Could the bridge be in some way linked to
okay,
this
so
attack?
they do link the Bridge Alliance.
That makes no
I was
sense.
gonna go on a derail because I forgot that point. Forgot that. I was like, maybe they're like another faction that's been on. I might be expanding this too far. There's no way. The faction of humans that's on the island but just not known, that aren't the
I
natives,
recognize this site.
like from the 100 years ago,
It's my
but they
cousins.
stuck around or something. That wouldn't make any sense.
Constantine, what have you gotten yourself into again?
I have a feeling a lot of those ones, some of
Very
them
well.
who stuck around,
Let's sum
became the
things
natives
up.
or something.
Constantine
something like
and
that. That's what I'm
Katazak
thinking.
definitely came through here to perform some sort of ritual. But they were attacked. An attack obviously involving wild animals. And then there are these traces of inexplicable flames.
Yeah, that's
Could
weird.
it be magic?
You cannot suspect my people are behind this attack.
No.
You have strayed far from the
No.
path. No one would have attacked Katasa.
Straight nothing.
Unless
Brainstorming.
He himself was behind it.
That would be weird.
He is a powerful Donegad. The beasts
But I wouldn't
obey
have.
him.
How
Yeah.
could you even think
I did.
something
I mean,
like
that's
that?
unfair for her to get pissed at
He
me like
is
this.
a
I love the
healer.
lighting right here, though.
He
Damn.
brought comfort to
Look at
your
this.
cousin.
Perhaps he only did it to gain
Yeah,
our
that's
trust.
those are weird lines
With
to say.
Constantine
They
captive,
feel
he can now apply leverage to the colonists and force them to
Those are the
accept his
extreme.
conditions. But in all truth, I have no idea what to think. Regardless of who is guilty, I must find my cousin. Perhaps we could return to Wenxavier in order to learn more. Katazak may have returned there. His Voglendyke might be able to tell us where to find him. We are also going to have to visit the outpost. Their soldiers participated in the combat. Or at least the end of it. They must have some stories to tell us.
And you think that they would have taken Constantine? Is that possible? Maybe he was in need of treatment. But if you suspect them to have participated in the combat to capture him, I think you're wasting your time. I know the captain of that outpost. A pessimistic man who would never order an attack without being absolutely certain of total victory without losses.
Perhaps. Unless he was simply obeying orders. It does belong to the Coin Guard, after all. However,
Crazy,
one way
right?
or another,
Everything's just-
Constantine is in danger. Let us be
Everything's
on our
mixed.
way without further delay.
Everyone could be a villain here. I like how they did that because it really gets you to a point where you go, what the hell? Like it could be any side. And you've dealt if you've done the side quest. Now, if you haven't done the side quest, it still feels like everything is kind of coming to a mashup point where you know these factions exist. You know they're sort of against each other, not against each other, but they're working for power. If you've done all the side quests, then you also have the added context of just the little shenanigan stuff that happened per faction, where each of them had corruption inside their own faction, and you help clean that up. I like that you can see that the fort from here. It's a great narrative cue. You might miss it, you might not see it, but if you see it, it's a great connection point. Yeah. So there's an infirmary here. We stumbled on this place kind of early because I explored this area like a buffoon instead of waiting for the game to tell me to come to these parts, but worked out. Give me a bunch of fireplaces I can teleport to. So here we go.
Colonials? You must have gotten lost to have come this far from nowhere. To whom do I owe the honor?
De Sardet. I am legate of the Congregation of Merchants on this island.
A legate? Here? Pardon my dismay, but we don't get many official sorts around here. Captain Idris. I am the ranking officer in charge of this Bridge Alliance outpost. What can I do for you, milady?
I am looking for Constantin d'Orsay, the island governor
said
of
it
the
Constantin
Congregation
this
of
time.
Merchants.
A
Here,
governor?
Constantine,
Here?
Constantine.
Whatever would he be doing in this rat hole?
My cousin was part of an
This doesn't help
expedition
someone
in
like
this
me.
region. His men and his camp
does
were
that
attacked.
automatically?
They nearly all died. But we found no trace of his body, which has us hoping that he may still be alive, wounded and holding up somewhere, or even captured.
Have you cast your
Suspicions looking
suspicions in
directly at
our
me.
direction? I hope this is a
Me?
joke. We've had neither reinforcements nor supplies for weeks. In my book, we've been totally forgotten. I wouldn't risk the few lives remaining to attack a governor's camp. I'm not crazy. I'm truly sorry for your cousin, Excellency, but we haven't seen him. And we definitely haven't kidnapped him. The region is dangerous. The natives are heartless. You should be looking in their direction.
You do know that we found the bodies of several men from the garrison up there, don't you?
How could you be sure?
One of them was carrying a note, signed by your hand.
And they are dead. I had hoped they'd have survived and would eventually return.
Explain yourself, Captain. What were your men doing on the cliff top?
They were monitoring the zone. They were to warn us of any troop movements. We have lost too many men to surprise attacks. We decided to take initiative and be ready. Yesterday, we heard screams and saw some strange
Okay,
lights
strange
up there.
lights.
But I was
Fireballs or
hoping...
And you didn't go and see for yourself? You hear screams, certainly those of your
Stone
own
broke,
men.
I don't know.
And you don't do anything.
So the last of my men give up their lives for nothing as well? You can think of me as a coward if you like. But me, I'm taking no more unnecessary risks.
Why do I have the feeling that you're holding something back from me?
Captain, my name is Afra. You might
Thanks for
remember
speaking
me.
up, Afra.
I passed by this outpost with my fellow scholars.
The Lost Expedition. Yes, I remember.
Her Excellency was able to extract us from the situation we found ourselves in.
Her Excellency has powers that I do not possess.
I'm casting no stones at you. You are isolated and without resources, and understandably
What was
a bit
I? I was
angry.
one
You have
person
the
with
feeling
two
that
allies.
the powerful of this world have abandoned you, and you want to make them pay.
Two companions.
But a life hangs in the
But whatever.
balance. We
It's
must
like a picky
save
right
him.
now.
You were right. I will tell you everything I know.
So again, if you don't have Afra, this probably
One
doesn't
of
go
the men
smooth.
I posted there.
Because that felt like it was
returned during
automatically a
the
turnaround.
night.
A survivor. Excellent. Did he tell you what happened?
He wasn't
I
able
love
to
the
say a
smoothness of
word.
it all.
He collapsed unconscious 2 steps past the doorway. Our nurse sits with him, but there is little hope that he will come back to himself. His wounds are extremely serious. He's just
Very healing potion.
refusing to die.
I'm
Just
sorry
take
to
one.
hear
I
that,
got
Captain.
10. Always.
Perhaps we could do something for him.
Healing potion.
Go
Healing
and see the
potion.
nurse. Perhaps you can do something to
Healing
help the poor boy.
potions.
I can't take it anymore. To lose another man. Anything else?
Calm down. Everything's gonna be fine.
Concerning the young man that survived.
Did you see the nurse?
That was
Not
awkward.
yet.
Really? I thought that your cousin's life hung in the
bastard.
balance. This boy will not survive long if someone doesn't help him. Anything else?
I need to be going.
I would very much like to do the same. Safe journey, Your Excellency.
Got a little lively. You got a little lively there for my taste, but I'm gonna let it pass. Guys, under a lot of stress. Alright.
What are you doing there? This is an infirmary!
I know. I've come to see the wounded soldier. The captain told me you might need my help.
That is very kind of him. But alas, it's a little late.
What are you saying? Is the soldier...
No, he
Then it's
still
not
lives.
late.
But I've been asking the captain for
freak
weeks
people out
to
like
escort
that.
me on a mission to replenish my stocks. I no longer have a single remedy.
There's a crafting
And
table
now that we
nearby.
have a wounded patient, I can only wipe water on his brow and hope.
Do you know what type of remedy would allow
Does
him
not
to
look easy.
survive?
Does not need a great,
Yes, at
great
least
healing
I think so. It's a known potion that heals burns.
I see. Give me the recipe. We'll go and see that it's prepared for you.
Thank you.
potion. See?
Because
Should
of
be
you,
kind.
this poor boy might be able to survive his wounds.
Now, I didn't see that it said Sovereign Potion against burns. 1 of 1. Right there. I was too focused on the fact that I could do something with this crafting table. And how did I not already have everything at least 1 of 1? Well, there it is. I'm looking at it right now, even though I didn't see that that's what I needed. So I was like, what do I have to get that helps with fire? So I'm going places that it says right there against burns. And then I see it there. And it says I already had it. That was awkward. Acquire the potion, the antidotes, and bring it to. So let's go back. I came prepared. Alakai always comes prepared. Take your stinking potion. No, just kidding. Take them.
Were you able to concoct
I already
the
had
potion
one. I
against
already had one.
burns?
Yes, I was. Might we administer it?
Give it to me.
Give it
I'll
to
take
me.
care of this.
Give it to me.
We must wait and be
There's some
patient
phrases
now.
that I just
Will he make
trigger
it?
those
I hope
stupid
so.
moments.
We'll know soon enough. This potion is extremely potent.
And if he survives, when could we speak to him?
Come back tomorrow at the same time. We'll know more then.
Very well. I'll come back tomorrow.
See you soon. And thank you again for your help.
Okay, and with that we have 24 hours to kill, and we have to listen to. We have some other things we can do. Where, I know I end up killing time here. I can see the time of the episode though, and I don't have much time left. So I'll be honest. After all the hyper editing I've been doing this week, and the other 4 commentaries, I'm completely disoriented. But I'm looking forward to playing this game. Starting tonight, this weekend, at least get one into, I don't know, but I'm gonna this weekend, and it's a long weekend here, which was a surprise to me because I didn't know that we had Monday off here in Canada, in Ontario, Canada. It was a found out yesterday, and I immediately took the entire next week off. So I was like, I'm gonna play some GreedFall. I'm gonna clear this game.
Good day, Captain.
Excellency.
And I do think
at your
I'm gonna clear
service.
this game.
What might I
this
do
weekend?
for you?
Not even this week. This weekend, and then I'm gonna edit.
Concerning the young man.
We're just getting an
survived.
update here because of the nurse.
Yes, and we'll do all we can to help him.
Thank you. I hope you can save him. These deaths haunt me.
Getting a lot of weight on his back.
Anything else?
Yeah, I don't know why I just shared
I need
that
to be
week
going.
with you. Week
I
sort
would
of, this is
very
going to be
much
so
like to
far in
do
the
the
future
same.
that I don't know what
Safe
value
journey,
that
Your
exactly
Excellency.
has for anybody. But in any case, you're wondering how I got so much content on the channel over the last couple months. Coming back to this is because I've basically taken a week to a week and a half off every month for the last 3 months. Burning away my vacation time just because. It's not just the game. I mean, but it has been the game. But it's just a lot of just, you know, stuff. A lot of reasons. But needed breaks. A lot of stuff going on in the world and life and stuff, right? So you gotta just walk away from it sometimes.
I've heard stories of your exploits. Thank you for all you've done. It's unusual for us to be offered aid by a Renaigse. It seems my Tiern was right. You are on Olmenawi. How can I help?
Katasak has disappeared. Would you have an idea as to where he went?
What? But my Tiern followed you to help you. How would I know where to find him?
I don't know exactly what happened, but he took my cousin to a particular place. A place to perform a ritual. Their escort was attacked, decimated by beasts and by magic. And my cousin and Katasak have disappeared.
And you believe that the Tiern has taken your cousin and killed his soldiers? Your heart must beat in shadow to believe that the man who offered you his hand only did so in order to better betray you.
Wait.
Thank you, Ciara.
This is not
Even
what
though
my
you
friend
did the
wanted
same
you to
thing
hear.
on the cliff.
Perhaps they were wounded. And your master wanted to take
But again, if you
Constantine
didn't
to a
bring
safe
her,
haven to heal him.
this likely
We
would
must
have
find
gone
them at
more
all
difficult.
costs. Wherever they are, they most certainly need
that's
help.
great.
Forgive me, Doneigad. Your words
you.
are true. I spoke without thinking. But I do not know how I can help you.
There may be a way. I found these vials of potion on the battlefield. Do they belong to your master?
They could very well, but let me see them closely. No, they are not his. This potion does not seem like any of those my master prepares. I do not know this smell. The plants used to make it do not come from here. Another Doneigad must be implicated. But
Oh, here,
none
like
that
your
I
area
know
of the
would
island?
attack Katasach. May the trees protect us. Who would attack the water that heals? The earth that feels? They must be in grave danger.
Yes. I sincerely hope that we will find them. That they are alive and well. I must go. I need to continue my investigations.
When you have discovered anything, let me know. Kwa'awalemsek.
I have to go.
Kwa'awalemsek.
Alright. And with that, what are we looking at? We're looking at 2 hours left. Oh, the travel time chipped away at that pretty well. So we took a day and a half to get back. It worked out. Just gave me a couple extra hours, a half day of rest, so we could talk more coherently with us about what went down. You know, being generous and all.
Hello, soldier. How are you doing?
Better. A lot better. Are you the one who saved me? The nurse told me.
I simply prepared the potion that she told me how to make.
Might have
Nothing
bought that.
more.
I
Could
don't
you
know.
tell
Maybe I
me
prepared
what happened during
But
the
I
attack?
don't know.
I will try. They're not really memories I'm fond to bring back. A lot of my friends died up there. We were posted up on the peak to follow rebel movement. It had been a couple of days when we heard sounds of fighting not far from our position. Men were screaming. in our own language. So we went to see what was happening. Soldiers of the Coin Guard and an islander were trying to protect a young man. He seemed dire ill.
Konstantin Katasak and his escort. Who were they fighting against?
Dozens of wild animals. They seemed completely enraged and intent on devouring them.
That's what was
And
done
there
to
were
that one, right?
flames.
Flames? Where were they coming
That's
from?
strange.
I don't know.
That's the one piece.
My friends and other soldiers fell one after the other. I didn't see everything. All was blood and confusion with beasts and fire. But I thought I saw another islander.
Another. So not
He's the one who took the sickened man.
big islander.
There was practically no one left on the battlefield. I was wounded and I passed out. I came to when I heard voices of islanders approaching. Rebels. I thought to myself, they're coming to finish off the wounded. I got up with difficulty and fled. I dragged myself here. And you know the rest.
I'm going to have to go and find these rebels.
You shouldn't do that. They killed all of my friends. You take a great risk.
That's enough. Rest now. You're still far from having recovered.
Yes. It's best I leave you now. I've learned enough. I'll have a word with your captain. Goodbye.
Very strange indeed. So I don't know what to think from here, honestly. To some degree, I feel like it's going to be a mix of things that,
Excellency, I was told that you saved my
we
soldier.
got hints from all
Thank
the
you.
side quests. Not all of them.
You can't imagine what this means to us.
Please. I did nothing more than follow the instructions your nurse gave me.
Did you learn what you needed to learn?
Yes. I was able to question your man, and he told me what he saw.
He confirmed the
and
fire
his
of the
company
creatures
heard
in range
sounds
of
of the
creatures.
attack, and they went to investigate. My cousin's escort were nearly annihilated by animals that jumped out from all sides.
The avalanches could be the ones that crawl to the
sorcerer
ground.
controlled them.
Things like that.
It was he that took my cousin.
One of those rebel savages, no
Don't
doubt.
talk like that.
I knew that they'd be behind all
Don't
of
do
this. They must have learned that an important man was in the region and thought he would make the perfect hostage.
Don't make assumptions like that, please. Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate it.
I would give you some men, but
Don't apologize. I know where the camp can be found, and if my cousin is there, I will free him.
like you freed the scholars. You're a good woman, Excellency.
Finally got it right this time.
Thank you
One of you
again
finally got it right this time.
for saving my soldier.
I need to be going.
Another
I
2K.
would very much like to do the same. Safe journey, Your Excellency.
Question, Darren. And it's coming back down to if I had to make a choice to go after the cure for the Malachor or find out what the heck's going on with Constantine, of course I'm going to choose my cousin. So I don't know if there's a priority here that makes the most sense, but I'm going on my gut. My gut says, wait, but this was question the leaders? Fairly certain I'm debating this. It sounds pretty simple for you to just question the leaders like that. It'll just be a clean sweep. But I'm gonna find my cousin. I'm gonna find my cousin. Shenanigans. I call shenanigans. Yeah, I'm pretty sure at this point I'm just getting to the fire so we can set off after this and do a hard push. And that's it. That's the end of all of these episodes I had to redo. Sorry about all the trouble, but hopefully I did what I could to keep it somewhat entertaining along the way. It was a good reminder for me to kind of absorb all these pieces so that I can start with a clean slate and give it that final hard push into endgame. So I will catch you in the next stack of episodes. Don't forget to explore, engage, and inspire, buddy. Peace.